or rather statement, I beg your pardon, that will be sought by the Honorable Mashua Waithaka, Member of Parliament Kiambu, and it will be handled by the Lands Committee. The orderly is taking notes there, keeping tabs, just counting to ensure that the House does attain the requisite numbers. It is 50 as per Standing Orders 34, and it is one that is clear on circumstances that spell out a quorum, specifies that it shall be 50 members, and if there is no quorum, the chair, immediately after saying the prayer, orders the bell to be rung for 10 minutes, which the Honorable Dr. Nyamai has done. And at the expiration of those 10 minutes, then the Speaker may direct the bell to be rung for another 5 minutes. And then if there is still no quorum, then he or she has the discretion to adjourn the House to the next sitting. If that happens this morning, then the next sitting is this afternoon, being that it is a Wednesday and members do have 2 sittings on Wednesday, in the morning and in the afternoon.
Thank you.
Committee of the whole.
Yeah, how soon?
Just now.
So as the bell rings, a brief recap of what was transacted in the House yesterday afternoon. We had introduction of the Public Participation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of the year 2025, co-sponsored by the Honorable Dr. Otiende Amolo and the Honorable Samuel Chepkonga. We had mover replying to an exceptional motion. This was tributes of the House following the demise of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, the former Prime Minister of Kenya. Members also did consider 10 regulations relating to the petroleum sector, and that was via a motion. And what remains is for the question to be put. Among those regulations is the petroleum business licensing and petroleum logistics facility construction permit, regulations legal notice number 95 of the year 2025. There is the petroleum licensing of petroleum road transportation business regulations via legal notice number 96 of the year 2025. The petroleum retail dispensing site construction and licensing regulations via legal notice number 100 of the year 2025, and the energy retail facility construction and licensing revocation regulations via legal notice number 103 of the year 2025. Members also did discuss 2 bills in the Committee of the Whole House, the Pyrethrum Repeal Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of the year 2024, and the National Library Service Bill, National Assembly Bill number 20 of the year 2023. The question remaining to be put on both matters, as well as the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Bill, Senate Bill number 17, whose debate was concluded yesterday, and all that remains is for the question to be put, for it to proceed to the next stage, as it were, which will be amendments in a committee of the whole House. Debate did start on the T Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 1 of the year 2023, sponsored by the Konoin Member of Parliament, Honorable Brighton Yegon. And on that particular issue, there's just 2 hours remaining, 2 hours of discussions. And hopefully that is a matter that will be handled probably today in the afternoon sitting. A live broadcast brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in conjunction with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. This being a bicameral parliament, the National Assembly is sitting this morning. We have the Senate also sitting this morning, where my colleague Kamchemenza is handling matters. We have already broadcast.
So that the bill be stopped. Honorable members, we are now properly constituted, so we can start transacting business.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Honorable members, we have a petition by the member for Lamu East. Is the member for Lamu East in the house? You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I, the undersigned, on behalf of the resident of Kiwayo Island, Kiunga Ward in Lamu East constituency, draw the attention of the House to the following. 1, that Kiwayo Island, located within Kiunga Marine National Reserve, is a central land that has for generations been home to the indigenous community of Lamu East constituency, whose livelihood depend on artisan fishing, mangrove conservation, and sustainable marine resource management. 2, that the community has historically practiced responsible and sustainable environment stewardship, thereby preserving the delicate marine ecosystem and biodiversity of Kiunga Marine National Reserve, a globally recognized conservation area under the Kenya Wildlife Service. 3, that in recent years, private developers have encroached upon the protected marine reserve area, carrying out unauthorized development and commercial activity that contravene conservation law and undermine the right of the local community. 4, that there are reports of fraudulent title deeds and irregular and land allocation purporting to grant private ownership within the marine reserve, despite the area being protected under the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act, the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, and related regulations. That these illegal encroachments have led to marine habitat degradation, loss of coral reef and fish breeding zone, and biodiversity and the community source of livelihood. Correction. And the destruction of mangrove forest, thereby threatening both biodiversity and community source of livelihood. That the activity of a private developer further risk displacing the Kiwayu community, disrupting culture, heritage, site, and community settlement that have existed in harmony with the marine environment for centuries. That the matter raised in this petition is not pending before any court of law, constitutional, or legal body. Therefore, your humble petitioner pray that the National Assembly, through the Public Petition Committee, inquire into all matter raised in the petition and recommend for 1, recognition and protection of traditional and cultural right of the Kiwayu Island community as environmental custodian and stakeholders in the marine conservation. Investigation into encroachment, fraudulent land allocation, and illegal development within Kiunga Marine National Reserve with a view to restore compliance with environmental and conservation law. The immediate revocation of any fraudulent or irregular title deeds or release or lease issued within the marine reserve and ensure the removal of illegal investors and development from the protected area. Development of community-based co-management framework between the Kenya Wildlife Service, the Ministry of Environment, and the local Kiwayu community to promote sustainable use, protection, and equitable benefit sharing from the marine resource. And measure to be put in place to strengthen marine reserve governance system so as to prevent future encroachment, enhance environmental protection, and uphold the integrity of protected marine ecosystem in Kenya. And your petitioner will ever pray. Represented by me, mwenyewe Captain Rueda, Member of Parliament, Lamu East. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member for Lamu East. That petition is referred to the Departmental Committee on Public Petitions. It is referred to the Public Petitions Committee. Is the chair in the house? Chair Public Petitions? Before I go to the chair, any comments from members on this? I do not see any interest in this at all. So, Honorable Mushangi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have heard and listened to the petition, and now that it is properly before the House, I wish to inform the member and the House that we will expedite on it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Leader of the majority party.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 morning sitting. The following legal notices, the explanatory memoranda, and accompanying documents from the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development. Legal notice number 167 of 2025 relating to the Sugar General Regulations 2025, and 2, legal notice number 168 of 2025 relating to the Sugar Imports and Exports Regulation 2025. Number 2, annual corporate report for the year 2024-2025 from the Office of the Auditor General. And 3, annual report and financial statement for Kenya Tourism Board for financial year 2023/2024 from the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. Number 4, National Government's Constituency Development Fund Board report for the first quarter of 2025-2026 financial year. Number 5, report on the winding up of the Asian Widows and Orphans Pension Fund from the National Treasury. Number 6, reports of the Auditor General and the financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2025 and certificates therein with respect to 1, Danida Primary Health Care PHC Support Program. Number 2, Kenya Citizens and Foreign Nationals Management Services. Number 3, Kenya Local Loans Support Fund, the National Treasury. Number 4, Global Fund Tuberculosis Project number KENT-TNT 4148, Ministry of Health. Number 5, Global Fund Tuberculosis Project number KEN-TNT 2067, Ministry of Health. Number 6, Kenya National Qualification Authority. Number 7, Kenya Education Management Institute. Number 8, Kenya Institute of Special Education. Number 9, National Humanitarian Fund. 10, Intelligence Services Development Fund. 11, University of Eldoret. And 12, Starehe Girls Center. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to lay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Naomi Wako. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
The Honorable Marianne Kitani, is she in the house? In the absence of the Honorable Marianne, that statement is deferred. The Honorable Daniel Maduku, member for Nyari Bari Masaba, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the delay in completion of the last mile connectivity program in Nyari Bari Masaba constituency. Honorable Speaker, the last mile connectivity program was introduced by the government to enhance universal access to electricity by connecting households and institutions to the national grid. In August 2024, His Excellency the President William Ruto launched the program in my constituency, Nyari Bari Masaba. However, to date, 26 sites identified for connection within the constituency remain unconnected. This delay has adversely affected economic activities and stalled development initiatives in the area. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. 1, the status of the implementation of the last mile connectivity program in Nyari Bari Masaba constituency, which was launched by His Excellency the President in August 2024. 2, the reasons for the delay in connection of electricity to the 26 earmarked sites. And 3, the measures being put in place to expedite the connection and ensure that the residents benefit from this initiative as intended. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The statement is referred to the Committee on Energy. Is the Chair Energy in the House? The Vice Chair? The Vice Chair? In the absence of the Vice Chair, Majority Leader, can you indicate to the Honorable Member for Nyari Bari Masaba when this statement will be presented?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I believe within 2 weeks, the committee should be able to respond. Thank you.
To the Chair, the Honorable Mashua Waithaka, member for Kiambu. Is the Honorable Member in the House? That statement is also deferred. Honorable Esuda, you have a statement? You may proceed. We'll come to you, Honorable Kitani.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the promotions, transfers, and affirmative action for teachers in arid and semi-arid areas, that is ASALs, in the country. Honorable Speaker, on the 12th of August 2025, the Teacher Service Commission advertised 21,313 vacancies for teachers to be filled in accordance with the career progression guidelines for teachers and career marginalized areas. Many are often overlooked in promotions, resulting to stagnation. It is therefore imperative teachers in ASAL regions. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. 1, the measures taken by the Teacher Service Commission to incorporate affirmative action for teachers serving in ASAL regions, such as Samburu County, during promotion exercises. Secondly, an indication on whether TSC has considered to review the requirement of serving a minimum of 3 years in one job group, and whether this period may be reduced to 2 years for teachers in ASAL regions. The steps being taken to facilitate voluntary transfers of teachers who have served in the same station for more than 5 years in order to promote equitable distribution of staff across the country. And finally, Madam Speaker, an indication on when the teachers from Samburu County who were delocalized or who were transferred from their home will be transferred back to their home county in view of the fact that the delocalization policy was abolished by this House. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Member for Kilgoris, anything out of order?
It's not out of order. I wanted to joyride on that statement. Because,
you may proceed.
Madam Speaker, coming from an area more or less like the one for Honorable Lesuda, I just wish that when the statement is issued, that they address this issue of promotions very well. In Kilgoris, you will find a situation where teachers have been kept in C1, C2, and they recently only got C4. We want them to head schools. Unfortunately, there is a policy that you have to be in D something for you to be able to be promoted to be a head teacher. This has brought the effect of people who got promotions because their relatives are here in TSC or in the ministry to flood the Kilgoris constituency to the detriment of those people who actually want to be promoted. We want to urge that the indigenous people of Kilgoris should also be given a chance to be promoted, and that the C4s qualify because they are good teachers. After all, they have done so in other places, and they should therefore do it in every place. So we'd like the minister to clarify this issue. The original promotions were done badly, and therefore they should make this correction.
Thank you, member for... I hope, members, you are not going to debate on this. The joyriders, I see the Honorable Dorothy Kiara. Your intention is also to make a comment on this? Please give the mic to her.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also want to commend my sister, Naisura Raisuda, for bringing this statement before the floor of this House. Honorable Speaker, I want to say the issue of promotion of teachers, it is a nationwide concern for our teachers. Those that have stagnated for many, many years should have an opportunity to be considered. Honorable Speaker, we pray that when all this consideration is done, it will be fair and rational so that no teacher deserving will be left behind. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Dorothy Kiara. Chair, is the Chair Education in the House so that we get an indication of when this statement will be responded to? The Vice Chair? Any member of the Education Committee? Yes, you may proceed, Professor. Are you a member of that committee?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We can give the report in 2 weeks' time.
It is very well. Professor, next order. Next order. Before we go to the next order, I would like to indulge the Honorable Marianne. The Honorable Marianne Kitani, please present your statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pass 1 to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2C. I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding rising cases of insecurity in Terik Ward in Aldai constituency. Honorable Speaker, In the recent past, there has been rising cases of insecurity in Terik Ward, specifically in Kipchemwon village in Aldai constituency. For instance, on the 3rd of September 2025, unknown individuals broke into the house of Mr. Dennis Chebai Chesoli of ID number 29406317 and stole valuable items and electronics. The incident was reported to Kapkerer Police Station under OB number 05/03/09/2025. Despite the efforts made by the area chief to provide a list of suspects believed to also operate in Vihiga and Kisumu counties, which are neighboring counties, no arrests have been made to date. The situation has caused the residents to live in fear for their lives and property. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement to the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, immediate measures that the government is putting in place to enhance security in Terik Ward in Aldai constituency. And 2, the status of investigation into the incident reported to Kapkerer Police Station under OB number 05/03/09/2025. And 3, measures being put in place to coordinate security operations across bordering counties of Vihiga and Kisumu to address inter-county security challenges. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Chair? Yes, you may proceed. I can see where you're seated. I was trying to locate you from the place where you normally sit.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, listening to the Honorable Member for Aldai, I used to think insecurity is prevalent in our area, where we actually fight day and night, cattle are stolen, people are killed. But in this particular case, I'm worried that there are people who will come to your boma and steal your cows and divert it through other means. We'll be able to respond to the House in 2 weeks, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. I would like to give a chance to the Honorable Mashua Waithaka, MP Kiambu. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding the demolition of stores by the Postal Corporation of Kenya in Kiambu Town. Honorable Speaker, on 10th March 2025, 62 market stores in Kiambu Town were demolished by officers acting on behalf of the Postal Corporation of Kenya, resulting in the destruction of goods belonging to 34 traders. The matter was subsequently reported at Kiambu Police Station under OB number 17/10/03/2025. However, to date, no official report has been provided on the incident, nor has there been any communication regarding compensation to the affected traders. The demolition has left many families in economic hardships, given that some of the affected traders are breadwinners whose livelihoods have depended on operating stores on those premises for years. It's also concerning that the demolition appeared to have been carried out without prior engagement with the traders and a clear or transparent compensation plan in place. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following. 1, a report on the circumstances that led to the demolition of the 62 stores in Kiambu Town by the Postal Corporation of Kenya, including whether any eviction notices or court orders were issued to the traders prior to the demolitions. 2, measures the Postal Corporation of Kenya has put in place to compensate the traders who lost goods as a result of the demolitions, including specific plans for allocation of alternative market space to the affected traders. And 3, steps being taken by the government to ensure that future demolitions are conducted in accordance with the law. and adequate notice provided to the affected persons and adherence to due process. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Chairman, Departmental Committee on Lands. The Vice, I cannot see the Vice. Any member of that committee? In the absence of any member, you may proceed on behalf of the majority. Oh yeah, of course I can see one of the members of Lands Committee. Please proceed.
Chair, I think that response will be given in 2 weeks' time. Once we've sat down and the chair takes the lead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joses Lelmengit. Next order.
Order number 8, report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022. Question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of Assisted Production Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, except clauses 2, 8, 14, 27, 30, and 52, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, we are in the Committee of the Whole House. This is a continuation of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022. As you may be aware, we had 6 clauses that remained, and that is what we would like now to finalize.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Chair. Honorable Dr. Nikal.
Chair, we propose that the clause 8 be amended as in the order paper, and the justification of this is that there is need for collaboration between the national government and the county government in access to delivery of assisted reproductive services. And that was already covered in 7D, so there's no need to have it in clause 8 again. Thank you.
Order, Chair. Chair, I think we would like to start with the amendment by the Honorable Peter Kaluma. I would like to give the Honorable Peter Kaluma the opportunity in the absence. I can hear the voice of the Honorable Mili. Would you like to move this amendment on behalf of the Honorable Kaluma?
Yes, I can, in good faith, even though I don't agree with it. But I can move because I've actually agreed that I move for him.
Agree with it, so you don't move the amendment? You have already put on record that you do not agree, so then
No, I could, Chair, I could actually move and then let the House decide. But I don't agree with the amendment.
You do not also have authority. Do you have authority from the Honorable Kaluma?
I have authority. but
Written
not in-
authority?
No, I don't have written authority.
So
Yeah,
that-
send
so,
me a
yeah, we
text.
know that you are doing this in good faith, but now, I'm sorry, you can't. So let's now proceed. That was paragraph A. So, honorable members, I'm going to drop everything in clause 8 and allow, by the Honorable Kaluma, and now allow the chair to move the amendment.
Chair, propose to that clause 8 of the bill be amended as in the order paper, and the justification for that, Chair, is because that same provision for collaboration between the national government and the county government is already in 70, so it's really not necessary. Therefore, we proposing that we delete it.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chairman. I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it. I now put the question that clause 8 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it.
Clause 14.
I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. I'll give a chance to the Honorable Kaluma. That one now is dropped. The Honorable Chair, you have an amendment?
We propose that clause 14 of the bill be amended as in the order paper, and the justification for this is as in the original bill, it was restrictive. So it is amended to give all persons access to the reproductive technology services subject to certification with a specialized by a doctor with specialized knowledge in assisted reproductive technology. In the other one, it was saying a doctor, and therefore we are making it more specific.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 14 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. The Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
I just need clarification from Honorable Nyikal. From what I have, unless I have the wrong thing, what he's proposing is to replace medical doctor with an assisted reproductive technology expert. Unless I have an older version.
Dr. Nyikal, would you like to clarify? Dr. Pukose, I can hear your
And
voice
in case I have
very
a
loud. I
wrong
know
one,
you are a
can I have
gynecologist.
a more updated.
You are not a
order
gynecologist.
paper then.
You are a surgeon. Yeah, your voice is very loud, so I would like to give you a chance after Dr. Nyikal.
It is exactly the same as what Honorable Meli has, and the difference was that in the original bill, we were just talking of a medical doctor, and now we are talking of a doctor with specialized knowledge in assisted reproductive technology. That is basically what we have.
Did you give us the justification?
The justification.
That is the justification? Okay, Dr. Nyikal.
Dr. Pukose. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm not a gynecologist. I'm a general surgeon. And just want to support the position put by the Chair that we are talking about a specialized doctor, because you see, for somebody to offer assisted reproductive health, that person needs to be a gynecologist. So in other words, we are referring to somebody who is an expert in that field, not just anybody else, because when you leave it open, then anybody else can offer that service. So we want somebody who is qualified to do the job.
Thank you. Honorable Mili. Honorable Mili. She's consulting.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think I get the gist and I'm okay with the proposed amendment.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 14 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it. I now put the question that clause 14 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it.
Clause 27.
I propose the question that clause 27 be part of the bill. I'll start with the Honorable Chair.
Chair, we propose that clause 27 of the bill be amended as in the order paper. And the purpose of this is basically we are talking of surrogate motherhood, and therefore we are putting a limitation on the age on medical grounds. This is a procedure that actually is relatively invasive, and therefore you need people in their prime of health to undergo this procedure, and that is the purpose of the amendment.
Thank you very much. There was an amendment by the Honorable Peter Kaluma, and it's hereby dropped. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 27 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. I now put the question that clause 27 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Yes, Honorable Mili, member for Suba North.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, whereas I have no problem with the proposed, the substantive part, I just wish to record that I have a problem with clause 3 that says where the surrogate mother or intended parent has no genetic connection with the child, the surrogate mother shall, subject to a court order, relinquish all parental rights and responsibilities at birth over the child to the intended parents. And the reason I'm saying this, Chair, is because assuming somebody like me wanted to get a child, it therefore means that I'd have to go to court to get an order. And the issue of childlessness is very stigmatizing. I raised it with the committee. The committee did not agree with me, but I think I wanted to go on record that I don't agree with the committee on this. There's no reason to stigmatize a woman father when they're already having a problem not having a child. Not everybody is brave like me to come up before people to say I have no child. I know, for instance, at this house, there are many people who are childless, but they can't say in public. Some of them can tell me, but they can't say it in public. I know many people who would speak to me about the issue of childlessness. But now when we subject them to go again to court to get a court order, it's very traumatizing. And I remember, and I want to say that when Honorable Joyce Lay raised the issue here before the House, she broke down and cried. Madam Chair, the only tears we need to be shedding is for Baba, not because we are childless, Madam Chair. I think I wish the committee would drop this, but again, because I know I presented before the committee and they made that decision, I would want to plead with the House that if you could put a question to each of them and hopefully persuade the House to drop this subclause 3.
Would you like to make some comments for the comfort of the House? You are the one who is going to do it?
No, he'll do it, but I'm also...
You may start, no problem.
Also contributing, pardon?
Yes, you proceed.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I very understand the comments of the sentiments of our Chief Whip. But, Madam Speaker, the rationale is this, that if there is no genetical connection between the parent, you and that child, then you have to go through the same process as an adoption. Because then, you know, that is not a normal procedure. So the way we go through adoption procedures in court is why we have to do the same, because there is actually no other connection between you and that child. So you have to look for a legal connection, and the connection can be given to you by court.
Honorable Mili, who would you like to inform?
I wanted to inform the member on the floor.
Well, it depends on whether you would like to be informed. Member for Kilgoris, would you like to be informed by the Honorable Mili Odhiambo?
Or if I'm still on the floor, maybe I can take the comments and then I can continue.
Okay.
He has already taken. Can I inform him since he has agreed? Chair.
Yes, you may proceed to inform the member for Kilgoris.
Madam Chair, Chairperson, I want to thank the honorable member. And I know he's very well-meaning because he wants to make sure that the process is above reproach. But I want to inform him that he does not know that his children are his. And yet he has not gone to court to get an order. A lot of things we do by faith. So I don't know why then there's a category that we are forcing to go to court. When our own children, especially as men, you don't know, the only person who knows whether a child is theirs is the mother. You as a man, you don't know whether the child is yours. But we do not go to court for you to confirm whether those children are yours. So that is the information I wanted to tell you, that you do not know whether the children are yours.
Now, as the information given to you by the Honorable Mili Odhiambo, is it useful?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I am actually grateful because, you know, this thing, we all suffer from it. Childlessness is not a one person's thing. But I want to inform the honorable member, because she's also a lawyer like me, that rather fortunately, I'm protected by the law, because the law says that all the children that are received in the marriage are presumed to be children of the marriage. So the law presumes, whether I was assisted by somebody else or not, that those children are mine according to the law. But this is a situation where please make them legal by going to court so that the court can agree with you. And I don't want to say a lot of things as we weep for Baba, but I think that was the rationale behind it.
The Honorable Charles Nguna, member for Mwingi West.
Thank you, Madam Chair. While I support the sentiments from Mili, Mili is becoming too harsh for men. You cannot just come and tell us we don't know whether the children we are siring, they are from our genetic composition. So, Madam Chair, I guide you to force Mili to withdraw our sentiments, because they are very harsh on parents, especially those who are very sensitive on this issue.
No. Mili is at liberty to debate whichever way she chooses to debate in this house. And you know that she has more experience than I believe everyone who is seated in this house today. So, and she has a freedom of speech. This is a house of debate, but we also take your comments, Honorable Charles Ngusia Nguna. The Honorable Dr. Pukose. Dr. Pukose, member for Endebess.
Chair, I just wanted to support the position taken by the chair that we know the Honorable Mili appeared before our committee, and this is something that was exhaustively discussed. And the position of the committee is as per the amendment that has been presented by Dr. Nyikal. And therefore, I think, Chair, you can just put the question so that we dispense with this matter.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 14. I now put the question that clause 27 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 27 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. What is out of order, Honorable Mili?
Thank you, Chair. Madam Chair. I've been overtaken by events, but I just want to say, even for purposes of for the next things, that I'd actually indicated that I agree And Honorable Pukosa is actually saying the truth when he says that we discussed this at length at the committee. And I want to thank the committee that agreed with them in actually almost 3/4, but I didn't agree with them on some things which I thought were very fundamental. But when you put, a blanket question, I cannot say yes or no, because I don't agree with the 3, but I agree with the rest. So I just want to put it, to have it go on record that I don't agree with the 3 for the same reasons that my dear brother Honorable Sunkuli has said, that if we make the law, then the law will presume that all these children are yours. So he actually used argument to really support me. But it is, I don't know why we are so fearful of these children, but be that as it may, I let it rest and thank the committee for at least the very progressive parts. Yeah, but I'll let this rest. Thank you.
So next order.
Close 30.
I propose a question that clause 30 be part of the bill. Chair, I start with the Honorable Kaluma's amendment, which is hereby dropped. Chairman, you may prosecute this amendment in clause 30.
Chair, propose that clause 30 be amended as in the order paper. And if you actually look at it, this carries more of the discussion that was going on, because this is to align the adoption of the intended parent, which is ideal, since the bill does not encourage commercialization of surrogacy, where there's no genetic connection with the child born through assisted reproductive technology. The requirement for the court process gives enhanced protection. Actually, this is more relevant to the discussion before, and I want to actually explain it a little more. In assisted reproductive technology, when you use the gametes, that is the sperm and the ovum, it is possible that the ovum may come from one of the intended parents, or the egg may come from one of the intended parents. And so, when you then get the child has a genetic connection to one of them. But you can also have a situation where both the ovum and the sperm come from different persons and then put in a surrogate mother or that mother. In that case, the baby has no connection with the both intended parents. And that is what was bringing that in that case, it's more protective to have a court, therefore, giving consent and like an adoption. And that is actually the logic. And Honorable Millie was also right that then you bring a process which was not there. But the committee felt, and still I think the committee feels, that where there's no connection at all, genetic connection, there's need to put further protection. And that is the essence of that amendment.
I now propose the question that clause 30 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Any interest in this? Would you like to make comments on this, or is anything out of order? The Honorable CNN.
Chair, I am just on point of order. I would like to be explained why are Kaluma's amendments being dropped? And he never consented. Actually, he was to appoint me to represent him in these amendments, but I think he lost my contacts.
The Honorable Kaluma is not in the House today. The House is aware where he is actually today, and he didn't authorize anyone in writing to move these amendments on his behalf. So that is the reason. That is how it is done in this House, Honorable CNN. Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you. I just wanted to comment, but before I comment, I want to tell Honorable CNN that we have actually had different engagements, even postponed because of Honorable Kaluma, because we've engaged at length on this issue. Today he had actually said, because he's in Homa Bay, he's not able to come today, but he's texted me. I've tried to move his amendments even where I don't agree with, but I have not been allowed procedurally. So you are just as well-intentioned as I am, because you realize the way we've been moving, even the committee, we've sat with them. There are some they agree with me. There are some they don't agree with me. But legislation has to go on whether we agree or not. In the same way with the Honorable Kaluma, you cannot get 100% agreement. Madam Chair, I just wanted to indicate that, again, in the same manner, I agree with a lot of the issues that are proposed in clause 30, including, for instance, the issue of where you have congenital abnormalities, all the children born out of pregnancy shall be children of the intended parent, so that you don't have people refusing children that because, these children are not born, like perfect children, then we cannot accept them. Once you go through assisted reproduction, the child becomes yours. Again, the only other challenge that I face, which I don't agree with, is the issue of the genetic link. And for me, I think it is an issue of discrimination, that if somebody has had a baby, that you'd want to differentiate between genetic link and non-genetic link. And I've given you the perfect example, that a lot of us men here, by faith, have children who we think are ours, but we don't know. I know CNN is worried and saying that I'm hard on men. I'm not hard on men. Maybe I'm actually hard on women. I'm calling on our women that please make sure that our children have the genetic makeup of our husbands. But that is not the reality in the world we are living. We have children who have the genetic makeup of our husbands. We also have others who don't have the genetic makeup of our husbands. It's the reality. But we accept them by faith, and the law also accepts them by faith. So why are we making this distinction when it's assisted reproduction? And I know the committee, even though this is the first time, but should this come in the future again before your committee, please have a more progressive mind for the sake of the child, even if not for the sake of the woman or the intended parents, for the sake of the child, so that you are not advertising the child out there.
Millie.
You are not advertising the child out there.
Millie Odhiambo, did you say that we have children who have a genetic connection with our pastors?
Yes. With our pastors?
Yes.
No, I did not say with our pastors, but it is a fact. It is also a reality. In fact, Chair, there is one of the things that I want to actually raise before this House, that as a person who is a Christian, I am very concerned at some of the practices I see in some of the churches, where pastors are praying and touching women's breasts and touching women's buttocks. We are still on earth, and you touch a woman's breast, what you are creating is excitement. You are not creating a spiritual surge. It is sexual surge. There is no spiritual surge in such instance. Stop touching women's breasts and buttocks during prayers. There's nothing spiritual about that. Keep distance. The spirit will work between you and the woman with the distance. There's no need to put a physical touch between you and a woman. So yes, there are children who have DNA with the pastors.
Point of information from the Honorable Dr. Bukose, the surgeon.
Thank you. I just wanted to inform the Honorable Millie that Professor Jaldesa, allow me to inform the Honorable Millie. I wanted to inform the Honorable Millie that in the Sexual Offences Act Amendment Bill, touching buttocks and touching breasts is illegal. And therefore, if that bill comes to the House and it's made to be law, then I think pastors will not touch any breasts or buttocks of ladies, because that will not happen again.
The Honorable Millie Odhiambo is duly informed. Now, the other people would like to make comments, and they have really been waiting. I would like to give a chance to the Honorable Rahim Dawood, member for North Imenti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I want Dr. Nikal to tell us, he said that if they are not connected to the one who is being born, then they need to subject it to a court order. will you not be invading the privacy? Because the one who will be born, it will be out in the public that the court, I mean, it will be in the public. Nobody wants to really get it out in the public. It's a private affair. So I would want us to, the chair, to please clarify when he says they have to go to get a court order, where is the privacy? No,
You just take note of that. I would like to give a chance to the Honorable Dorothy Kiara, nominated member. Just take note of it.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too would want to weigh into this matter and say we have single mothers whom we don't know the genetic attachment of the children that they bring. Bring up. Then similarly,
where people say a surrogate mother, that child is totally alien to them. And there is even fear that people can actually raise such children for purposes that are not really proper. That is why there's need for further protection. And as Honorable Millie said earlier, we see, if you look at further down, you even find that there is even fear that should these children be deformed at birth, then the chances that nobody is connected to them. That's how that bill, that amendment, therefore protects them. The fact that this will be in court, even before surrogacy, there is actually a legal process where you actually have agreements which go through that. And even in adoption, normally, this will go through court. So by the time people make this decision, all the issues of privacy, to some extent, they have considered them and they have looked at them. But what is important, remember that 20 years later, this is and if this protection were not put in place, then there's no genetic link, then these people are at risk. So you must look at the issue of privacy when the child is being born, and also the welfare of the child later on when they are an adult on their own. And that is the need for this protection.
That's good. Professor Jaldesa, or you are there to give moral support to Dr. Nikal? Yeah, because you are standing there and actually sharing the notes. Honorable members, I now put the question. Yes, member for Kilgoris, make it quick, please.
Sorry, I just had a point of order because just to put the record straight about this issue of about having children within that are not yours during the marriage. They are not there by faith, but by law, because there's a presumption of law. I just wanted that correction. The law says so, that they are your children. So it's not by faith.
Okay. Point noted. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 30 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nikal. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 30 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 52.
I propose the question that clause 52 be part of the bill. The first opportunity is to the Honorable Peter Kaluma, and it is hereby dropped. Chair, you may proceed.
Chair, we propose that the clause 52 of the bill be amended as in the order paper, and this was actually relating to the authority given to the Cabinet Secretary to make regulations, and therefore clarifications were being made. And in A, when we talk of embryos planted in a womb, and they're substituting the word transferred to. That's a much better word than the word being planted. And informed consent is basically, if you just say consent, it is better to add the word informed. And then the justification for embryos created from gametes, that is actually a technical issue that is being corrected. And research, again, it is very important in this technology that embryos, which are actually human beings, or even gametes before the union into embryos, are not actually used as in research, because people can do all sorts of weird things with embryos. Therefore, again, that is being protected, the use of embryos in research. And that is why the rationale for those amendments in 52.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 52 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. I now put the question that clause 52 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Dr. Nyikal. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 52 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. The first opportunity goes to the Honorable Peter Kaluma. It's hereby dropped, and the opportunity goes to the chairman. 2.
Yeah. Chair, we propose that clause 2B of the bill be amended as in the order paper, and as you can see, it's really a raft of definitions, and these are arising from the fact that as we started working on the bill, we were talking of a limited aspect of assisted reproductive technology, but the technology as is now is broader. So these definitions are changed to take into account the broader aspects of assisted reproductive technology, and also to take into consideration acts in parliament that exist. So that I think we can take time to go one by one. Like in A, is basically what I've said, to cover all aspects of assisted reproductive technology, where initially that...
Chair, since it is on record, you do not need to go one by one.
And those therefore are our rationale for the amendments.
Thank you, Chairman. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chairman. I now put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 2 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, you have anything out of order, Honorable CNN?
I've got an issue with this clause. Chair, I know couple means male and female.
Charles Ngusi Anguna?
The definitions, clause 2, the one we've just...
Unfortunately, it's overtaken by events already. It's already overtaken. Sorry about that. Honorable members, we have come to the end of this bill, a very important bill. I would like to congratulate all of you who participated. And remember, this bill was in the 11th Parliament, the 12th Parliament, and now the 13th Parliament. So it is a very good feeling that we have come to the end. Honorable members, I now call upon the mover.
Madam Chair, did we look at the title? We did earlier.
It was already done last time.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House's consideration of Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Thank you. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproduction Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, and its approval thereof with amendments. As many as have that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Mr. Speaker.
Could we have the move of the bill? Waiting for reporting. Chairperson. Chairperson of committees.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the House, I take that again, Honorable Speaker. I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Assisted Reproduction Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, and approved the same with amendments.
Thank you. The move of the bill. Honorable Millie.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Irene to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Rembo.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I second.
Thank you. Members, there, I do propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable Elisha, you want to say something on this? If there's Honorable Jamal, you want to say something on this? Yes, this is a point at which you can make a comment on this. You got the mic already actually with you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Departmental Committee on Health, more so the chair, the Honorable Dr. Nyikal, bearing in mind that the Honorable Dr. Nyikal was in the 11th Parliament, 12th Parliament, and the 13th Parliament, and he was very, very keen to make sure that it happens. I would like also to take this opportunity to comment the effort that was made by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo and the zeal that she has shown in this House and outside the House to make sure that we have this bill getting this far. And I would like to thank you very much and tell you that you are not doing it for yourself. You are doing it for this House. You are doing it for so many women out there, some who do not even have a voice, who have been looking forward and waiting to have assisted reproduction being done legally in this country. I would also like to thank the Honorable Kaluma in absentia. He also did a lot of work, and he also, as religious as he is, and as much as he had done so much research, he was willing to give and take and interact with the people in the profession, people like Dr. Nyikal, people like the Honorable Jaldesa, people have a lot of interest, like member for Kilgoris, and so many other members seated in this House. I would like to say that it's a good feeling that the Speaker made a promise to the Honorable Millie Odhiambo that this was going to happen in this House, and it has happened. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Said. Members, if this. No, you can't do that. No, but, and you know it so well that you can't do that. Honorable CNN.
Mine is just to appreciate Millie for what she has gone through. I recall there's a day she was really crying here, shedding tears profusely. And I would like to encourage her to keep on helping the Kenyans who are voiceless. This bill it's really It will help many Kenyans, especially who have got no children. And it is high time we just clear it and remove all the controversies we have been explaining to this bill. So far, Millie, congratulations for this achievement. You've really helped many Kenyans so far. And I am looking forward to committee actually making sure this is fully implemented in our country without any controversy or interjection by anybody. Thank you and congratulations. Bad girl.
Thank you. Honorable Pukose.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a bill that has come a long way, and it has created a lot of controversies. And I want to thank all the people who made various presentations. It has had a lot of public participation. Honorable Speaker, assisted reproductive technology is already being practiced in this country. So it is not something new. The only thing is that what we've done is, as a committee, is to create a framework, the legal basis for which that should be practiced. We have other practices, medical practices that are ongoing in the country. Kidney transplant, cornea transplant, and other medical practices within the country. So what we're doing is to create a framework in which our doctors can be able to practice in a legal way, and in which also women in this country, and not just women alone, also men can be able to have children in an environment where there is a legal provision without somebody feeling that, and also making it not to be very expensive. I think many women outside there and men who want to have children through this assisted reproductive, it is being very expensive. And therefore, I think even the national referral hospitals, the national government, the county governments should be able to put in place services that can offer this service, institutions that can offer this service at an affordable. And we are hoping that even the share shift coverage should also now be amended to give coverage for this service so that our Kenyans can be able to have children without any obstruction, without any financial constraints. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I want to congratulate Honorable Millie for coming up with this very important bill and for being very consistent and committed, because this touches on many women in this country. And we know very well many African women have even lost their marriage because they cannot give birth to a child. And this bill will come in and salvage those situations that have stressed our women, and even for educated women who have, have had challenges in their marriages, now will have an opportunity to have a child. I want to congratulate her and congratulate women of this country, because it is through passion and commitment that they have, kept their marriages and done a lot of things. And this bill now will take them to another level, especially for those who have been disadvantaged in the past. Congratulations, Honorable Millie. Thank you.
Honorable Jamatia. The Honorable Member for Game. What sort of order? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I've noticed there's a member who walked in. I don't know whether he's putting on a blanket, and I don't know whether that is parliamentary. The Honorable DK. Yes. What he's putting on top, is it a blanket or a... Just check, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure that is parliamentary.
Who is the Honorable?
Because
where is the Honorable DK?
If you come to the house, you must dress properly.
The Honorable DK, are you wearing a blanket? Can you give the Honorable DK to tell us what he's wearing this morning?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Speaker. I don't know. Maybe the Honorable Member is admiring my coat, because as far as as far as we are concerned, this is a coat.
You and
It
who?
is not a blanket. And I doubt whether he has done textile engineering. And I doubt whether the speaker's rules dictate which kind of linen you need to.
I can actually confirm that
yeah.
that what the member is wearing may look like a blanket, but it is a very fine coat.
Yes. But
okay, the Honorable Elisha, if you are admiring the blanket, not the coat, not the blanket, the coat, then no, you will not say anything more. You'll approach the Honorable DK, he'll take you to the shop, then you can get the blanket too. The Honorable Jamatia, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate my sister, Honorable Millie, the bad girl, for this very important bill that is before us today. I also participated in several ways through the committee, through our groups in Kewapa, to ensure that this bill sees the light of the day. And I want to say that this is a bill that is going to be a game changer, not only in Kenya, but within East Africa. If you realize, just like Honorable Bukose said, most of these reproductive health is happening in Kenya, and most people travel all over the place to come and get this assisted reproduction. And I want to tell Honorable Millie that it is not only this idea that to help women and men and the society at large, but also helping God's creation. Because we were all sent to this world to procreate. And sometimes, probably genetics and vagaries of the day, you might not be able to get children in good time. And this is going to be one of the best bills that is going to help human beings. For the first time, that Kenyan, you can walk into a hospital, you want to get a child or a baby or babies, you sometimes choose the sex and all those kind of things. And this is going to be, one of the best bills that I would really look forward to see the assignment of the president, because it's going to help all of us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first, I'd like to congratulate Honorable Millie for her persistence in getting this bill passed. I remember she's been doing it for the last 2 or maybe 3 parliaments, I don't know. But at least this now puts the legal framework for surrogacy and assisted reproduction, where we did not have a proper law to guide us. But with this, I think the guide is there, and it will go a long way. We now need to get people to do the surrogacy so that we do not have broken families, because that's where people blame the lady. Maybe there is a problem with the man. And we just take as God sent that this is there. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and congratulations.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for this opportunity. And secondly, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Millie for the passion she has shown in this area of assisted reproductive health. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I do remember when we joined this parliament, that was the 11th parliament, me and you and Millie was already in parliament. When she was moving that bill, then, Honorable Speaker, the passion and the explanations she gave to justify the need for this bill, I'm a very happy man to see it now coming to this level. And I want to congratulate her and I wish her well, now that Kenyan women have a legal framework to fall to in case there are challenges, as she explained then. So I want to support her and congratulate her and wish her well, wish all our women well, those who benefit from this legal framework. And Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for this opportunity. Asante.
Thank you. Honorable Mrembo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to congratulate our colleague, Honorable Millie Odhiambo, for the good work and the patience since the 11th, the 12th, and now the 13th Parliament for pushing this bill. I also want to congratulate the Chair and the Health Committee members for having come up with a very important bill that many women have been struggling with. I've come across so many issues with regard to women not being able to give birth, and I want to thank Honorable Millie for this. Even other women not being able to carry full-term fetus, and I want to congratulate Millie for this. We know there are so many families that have broken down, so many marriages that have ended because of lack of children. And I want to say, may the Lord always bless you, Millie. Keep on pushing, even to fight for women. You do not know what you have done to women in this country. Thank you very much.
Kiara.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I too would wish to join my colleagues by first thanking Dr. Nikal and the entire Health Committee and all those who were involved in this very vigorous process. I also want to thank my sister, my senior, my mentor, Honorable Miria Odhiambo, who has been very, very consistent in fighting for the vulnerable, championing for those that have issues beyond what we can comprehend. Honorable Miria, I know you have brought and championed very many bills in this parliament, but this alone will go a long way in that it is going to raise the spirit of many women who have been crying silently out there. The many women who don't know who to turn to. And I want to strongly say, even one day, that day when you'll not be able to be in this parliament, this particular bill, which has given hope to the crying women of this country and to the men who don't know what to do when their wives are being condemned left, right, center, then, Honorable Miria, I want to say, when you are alive, we want to put flowers on you and say, may the good Lord continue giving you that strength and the spirit to champion the needs of the less privileged, those that God did not give the opportunity to use their own to what we cherish most, that is human life. And you have brought life and a smile to the face of all those other women.
Thank you.
May God bless you. I want to go on record, Chair, to correct a statement that I said earlier on when I said single mothers. I just mixed up. I was saying just repeatedly what Honorable Miria was saying, that we have very many other men who are taking care of the children who are not genetically connected to them, and still I say a child is a child, regardless of how the child comes into this world. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Dr. Monyenze. And I think Dr. Monyenze will be the last one on this.
Thank you, Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to specifically say...
Honorable Millie, you'll have a chance at the third reading to say thank you to all these people you want to say thank you to. Go ahead, order. Order.
It's okay. Let me take this opportunity to say I am happy that this bill has come to pass. I was there in the last parliament, and I remember the length we went into in trying to have this bill pass. But now that it has come to pass, I congratulate the Health Committee and also Honorable Millie for this milestone. And this one now legally gives us an opportunity for couples and also for people to decide if, also decide when, and how often to have children. This gives an opportunity to even solve some of the gender-based violence issues in the families, and because this problem this reproductive problem has brought so many issues to couples, and this comes about because of the many complications which come along with the reproduction. So now that we will not be having orthodox means of trying to get children, of trying to abort the unwanted children, because now we have a legal document, I now say congratulations and well done, and this will sort a lot of problems. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I thought you have said enough on this, really. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me start by appreciating the persistence and the hard work of Honorable Mele. When I came in the 11th Parliament, I remember many meetings we had with her, with the technical people, doctors, specialists in all areas, even outside Parliament. And this has come to pass. I also want to appreciate Honorable Kaluma, who actually took a very hard stand and drew to our attention many issues. Because this bill, we are moving very close from procreation to creation. And it is beset with many areas where abuse can occur. And therefore, the many amendments that have come through is to actually address moral issues, ethical issues, research issues, even religious issues that were actually raised. So I think this is going to be a relatively progressive but also safe bill in the area that it is touching on human procreation. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Mayaka.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to also give my support for this particular bill. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to thank our leader, the Honorable Millie, who is also a mentor to many of us, for this bill. I know she has really passionately campaigned and pushed for it for a very long time, and to thank the Health Committee also for their support. And also, Honorable Speaker, just to say that this is a win for very many families, women, both women and men, who together have had challenges getting children through the natural process, and this is going to give them that opportunity. So I really want to thank the Honorable Millie, because this is going to be a very great legacy for a lot of people in this country. It's going to assist very many people, and also the fact that people can now have children through different methods within the legal frame, which is very, very important. So with those very few remarks, I want to give my support for this and to thank everyone for supporting it. I thank you.
Thank you. Member for Eldas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from the onset, allow me to congratulate the Honorable Millie. I have interacted with Honorable Millie as an activist, as a nominated MP, and as an elected MP. And I think one thing that comes to my mind whenever I see her is her persistence, consistency, and determination actually to achieve issues that she flags as her priority. And I think this is supposed to be the hallmark of any politician or any human being. Mr. Speaker, I have had the privilege of going through sections of the bill, but I think the issues that come, I am a practicing Muslim. There are certain fundamental things that has been in the offing all over, that contradicts the Quran, that negates the constitutional provisions, and that's often against the African society. What this bill attempts to do is to provide a platform legally, because we live in a very diverse, very democratic society, to allow a platform which will not contradict the basic human right, which will not contradict some of the critical teachings of the different scriptures, which will also not negate and make Kenya a pariah state where you can come and do anything in the name of reproductive health. Mr. Speaker, therefore, I want to say thank you. Once this bill is passed, and I'm sure this is the first stage, and through the public participation, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure critical other components will be added to this, and that will enrich the bill. And I'm sure Millie will be open to critical amendments that will enhance, that will also...
The Honorable Member for Eldas, we are past that stage now. We've just finished the committee of the whole House, so the bill is basically.
Okay. So I was just saying this is, it's the first stage. It's very good. We support it. Go ahead. And if, for whatever reason, once this is done, you feel there is need again to include further inclusions, because bills are supposed to be, the passage of bill actually is supposed to be very dynamic. I'm sure you will not hesitate in bringing further amendments to enrich this, to improve in this. Otherwise, I say thank you, and I hope and pray that we will have many members of parliament like Millie who will pick on issues, who will pursue those issues, and make sure those issues become part and parcel of the civic society of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this.
Thank you. I also join members because I've been here since 2013, and this has taken a while. And it feels nice sitting here knowing that we've moved so far, especially with this particular bill. And Millie, thank you so much for persistence. Members, for obvious reasons, I will not put the question, but I'm sure next time we have the bill up, a decision on it will be made either way. Next order.
Order number 10, the Agricultural Professionals Registration and Licensing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024. Second reading.
The Honorable John Mutunga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to move the Agricultural Professionals Registration and Licensing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024. Honorable Speaker, the principal objective of this bill is basically to provide for a legal framework for the registration, licensing, and establishment of the Agricultural Professionals and Technicians Registration and Licensing Board. Now, Honorable Speaker, we have moved from the board, During the third reading, we'll bring the amendments, which have made sure that this bill is not going to be a money bill. It will be funded basically by the professional fees and the levies. Honorable Speaker, this bill was brought in the last parliament, but it lapsed when the last parliament lapsed. This is a resuscitation of the bill in view of the fact that agriculture is a very important sector, and therefore we need to focus a lot more on how to do agriculture better. Honorable Speaker, Agricultural Professionals and Licensing Bill 2024 seeks basically to provide that legal framework. The bill will aim at bringing forward the professional standards, promoting ethical practice, as well as strengthening accountability in the agricultural sector. Honorable Speaker, the committee did consider this bill and they worked on the many issues, and the report is available. Honorable Speaker, the committee did meet various sector stakeholders and came up with the recommendations. These include the Ministry of Livestock, Agriculture and Livestock Development, the Agricultural Professionals Body itself, the association, training institutions in agriculture, farmers and producer organizations, and other relevant stakeholders. The key objectives of this particular bill are, first of all, to address the long-standing gap in regulating agricultural professionals and technicians, which is giving it a framework that is existing in many other professional bodies like the engineers, the medics, the lawyers, and so on. It also comes in to ensure that only qualified personnel are licensed individuals to undertake agricultural advisory. Today, Honorable Speaker, the agricultural advisors are not known. We do not know their professional qualifications. We don't know their technical competencies. We have just a pool of advisors. And in most cases, you realize the exchange points, in this case, the agrovets, in agrovet shops, the agro input shops, we have a lot of advisory taking place. The question is, those who advise farmers on how to use the agrochemicals and when to plant and when to do all those other operations, what background are they? Who are they? And that is why this bill comes to basically ensure that only qualified professionals do advise Kenyan farmers as professionals. Madam Speaker, this bill clearly isolates the professionals, defines the professionals in two categories. Professionals can either be, you can have professionals and technicians. A professional is defined as an individual who has attained a university degree in agriculture or a postgraduate or postgraduate degrees in a related field. And a technician is any person who has been able to do a certificate in agriculture or related field or a diploma in such a field. It will also ensure that only qualified individuals, therefore, it will ensure that ethical standards are maintained and upheld, and the competencies are also upheld in due delivery of the agricultural advisory process. It aligns the agricultural sector with the national goals as specified in the Vision 2030, in the agricultural sector transformation and growth strategy, and also in the current government strategy, which is the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Madam Speaker, this bill basically comes in to organize professionalism in a very important sector, the agricultural sector. Agricultural sector is the sector that basically is the mainstay of this economy. We talk about agriculture being the backbone of the economy because most of the foreign exchange earnings are from agriculture. Most of the jobs are from agriculture. Most of the food is produced from the sector, Honourable Speaker. Therefore, this very important sector does not have clearly defined professionals to manage the operations post-farm, at the farm level and even post-farm. The bill cuts across from the pre-production, where we have preparation of the production materials, all the way to the plate or to the table. And therefore, it looks at the agricultural product value chain, as it were. Madam Speaker, despite the immense contributions that this sector gives, professionals and technicians in the agricultural sector are currently unregulated. This bill therefore seeks to fill this particular gap in ensuring that only qualified and licensed individuals for agricultural advisory and technical services are given that particular responsibility. The bill will highlight on some of the issues, including establishment of the agricultural professionals and technicians registration and licensing council, whose function will basically be to register, to license, and to regulate professionals and technicians in the agricultural sector. It also will provide for registration for a registrar who shall maintain the annually publish in the Kenyan Gazette a register of all licensed professionals and technicians for transparency purposes in order to make sure that the correct people are in the definition as agricultural. Honourable Speaker, crop production is one of them. Horticulture is another one. Plant breeding is identified as one of the professional components. Seed technology, agronomy, botany, crop science, crop protection, home economics, agribusiness, food science, farm management, animal production, range management, agricultural economics, agribusiness, agricultural extension, agricultural education, agricultural marketing, agricultural policy and law, floriculture, biotechnology, agricultural engineering, soil and water engineering, soil science, agroforestry, and natural resource management. The reason why I've highlighted some of these specialisms on our speaker is because there was a misconception circulating in the social media in trying to indicate that Kenyan farmers will therefore now need to be registered as professionals and they'll have to be paying fees and levies so that they can practice agriculture. This bill does not touch on the farmers. This bill touches only on the advisors or agricultural professionals who are going to be playing a role in the agricultural sector. Honourable Speaker, agriculture is devolved. Most of it happens in the county today. But when you look at what has happened, agriculture is dying out. We do not have enthusiasm as used to be. Agricultural institutions are dying out. They are are disintegrating. Universities are not growing as it is expected. Populations within the agricultural training sector, training component is also dwindling. The reason is that the importance that the Kenyans have attached to this particular sector, because it has not been given the correct attention. We need to identify professionals so that we can be able to assign them the responsibility of growing the sector as well as enabling the country to move forward in order to move from agricultural producers to other sectors that may support this particular economy. When I was speaking at one point in time in this House, a certain member alluding to the fact that agriculture should not be highlighted as one of the key important, or it is wrong to say that agriculture is important because we need to move from agriculture, we need to leave the GDP support to around 4% or 3% or less, and then look at other sectors. Honorable Speaker, we cannot move. Most of the countries that have moved to 3% agricultural support did move through the transformation, the agricultural, what we call the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution was basically triggered through improvements in agriculture, intensification, and productivity enhancement, so that they produce a lot of raw materials, and therefore did transformative industries, which drove to the extraction industries that they have today. And that is the path we need to pass as a country. The other issue, Mr. Speaker, is that Kenyan agriculture is getting better reorganized. There is investment in the Kenya School of Agriculture. I know there are about 8 Kenya schools of agriculture in this particular country, and this Kenya School of Agriculture will be offering post-technical training, retooling, which will enable the agricultural professionals to become better in service delivery. Just like the Law Society of Kenya, just like the Kenya School of Law does retool the lawyers, then the Kenya School of Agriculture will also be enabling the professionals within the agricultural sector to become better and therefore to be able to deliver the service as it were. Honorable Speaker, agriculture is a changing domain. It is changing in the sense that we started with traditional ways of farm practice, using the djembe or the oar and so on, to mechanization. We have moved from using the seeds to using tissue culture. We have tissue culture by technology advancement. And now, Honorable Speaker, we are talking about genetic engineering. So this is a field that is moving. If we do not identify the professionals in this field and specifically license them, then we are likely to be talking a language that is not commensurate with the changing times and the changing perspectives within the sector. Therefore, the importance of the bill. Honorable Speaker, agriculture is also a multiple domain. It covers a wide scope, and therefore we need to know who is doing what within which domain, subdomain in the agricultural sector. Agriculture is also facing many challenges. We have a lot of challenges today to produce our crops. One of them is the diminishing land size, and we have not moved fast as a country to be able to reason out how do we intensify production, how do we increase productivity. And only a professional body can think through this. And therefore, putting together this professional body will help us to move in that direction and to resolve issues within the agricultural sector so that Kenyans can move in tandem with the times. With the reducing sizes of land, we need to also be able to intensify and increase, optimize on the production. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I would like to say that agricultural professional bodies is envisaged in this particular bill to be self-sustaining. It is going to be self-sustaining because it is for sure noticeable that most of the agricultural services have been privatized over time. Even if agricultural extension has not been privatized, then we know for the realities that is not really happening. And what has happened is that farmers have had to move to look for professionals to advise them. Honorable Speaker, we are also coming up with a bill on the agricultural extension, agricultural and livestock extension, which gives room for these professionals to take up so that they may be able to offer their services as professional individuals or institutions or bodies. And that is why this bill is key in order to identify, register, and basically regulate these professionals. Honorable, with those few remarks, I wish to move and call upon the Honorable Kibagendi to second.
You're definitely not Honorable Kibagendi, are you? No. take your seat. The Honorable, eh? The Honorable Party keep, oh, the Honorable Party keep, okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to check.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm trying to check my board.
There are two Kibagendis in
So
this
this
house.
is the Honorable Patrick Osero Kibagendi.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is the good Kibagendi and the bad Kibagendi. I'm the good one.
Only Kibagendis are good Kibagendis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to second this agricultural professionals bill. Mr. Speaker, 40% of our jobs come from agriculture. And not only is it the major foreign exchange earner, but Mr. Speaker, from where we have reached now in the agricultural sector, there is a lot of confusion. Mr. Speaker, you will find a farmer has to rely on an agrovet for purposes of advising him on what chemicals to use, and without any professionalism involved, this has really affected our farmers negatively. We would like to see a trained and licensed professionals who can be assisting the farmers. This used to be some time back. We used to have these officers some time back in the 60s and 70s who would go around and advise the farmers on the acidity, the alkalinity of the soil, and you would find that the farmers would rely on them at times before planting, after planting, and this has been washed away because I think we over-relied on the counties for these professionals. So, Mr. Speaker, this thing cannot be stressed more because the professionalism has been dwindling within the agricultural sector. So, Mr. Speaker, like the chairman has already told us, the issue around farmers, between the farmer and a professional, has been left open to any quacks, anybody who thinks that he knows anything to do with farming, to do with herbicide applications. It has been left to quacks. So it is time that this profession was regulated and we have licensed officers to be advising our farmers. A case in point, quality definitely is dependent on the soil, the way you pluck your tea, and the upkeep up to the time it goes to the factory. Now, these same issues can be related to the agricultural professionals bill because if we had people to advise the farmers, the time of application of fertilizer, when and where, we would not be where we are because we can see the farmers, especially the farmers of the west of the Rift, are really complaining. They are saying the T-bonuses they got, something was totally wrong. In fact, it is now even becoming political. So we want to support this particular bill and get totally trained professionals who will be the link between the farmer and the shops, the various shops that can give professional advice at times that they are needed. So, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, I therefore propose the question. That the Agricultural Professionals Registration and Licensing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024, be now read a second time. The Honourable, start with the Honourable Member for Matayos, the Honourable Danga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to, from the beginning, support this bill on the licensing and the regulation of agricultural and livestock professionals. Mr. Speaker, this is a bill that should have come much earlier. We remember very well in the early years, 60s, 70s, when Kenya was booming with agriculture, when manufacturing was booming, there were those extension officers under the ministry, and they were doing a good job. They had even the pickies and everything that would enable them to move. But agriculture, Mr. Speaker, has transformed a great deal. around this time. It requires a lot of professionalism. Agriculture, like the chair said in the beginning, gives Kenyans about 40% of jobs. And this is the kind of sector that cannot be left just to everybody, to the quacks, to the aggravate owners and so on for advice a lot of times. And we are happy that this bill is coming up. We require to support it so that we have people qualified, licensed, and then retooled, like the establishment of the Kenya School of Agriculture, which has been established, to be able to retool them to give Kenyans the services they require on the farms. At the moment, Honorable Speaker, Kenyans have again reawakened. Many of them, you go outside in the countryside, you find many of them are really in the farms. Food production is increasing, and even other crops, the cash crops and so on. There's a lot, and Kenyans are taking them up. This House, Mr. Speaker, has made discussed several bills here and made them into acts to make agriculture vibrant again. This kind of sector needs a lot of support, and it cannot be done by just anybody. It must be controlled, regulated, and those people providing those services, advisory services, need to be really professionals. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support from onset Honorable Dr. Mutunga for bringing this particular bill, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, agriculture is the backbone of the economy. It contributes about 25 to 30% of GDP, Mr. Speaker. It employs about 70% of the rural population, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the first one, they have a legal framework, Mr. Speaker, to protect farmers. And that's why I stand to support this particular bill, Mr. Speaker. If you look at currently, Mr. Speaker, we have quacks who have been exploiting farmers, Mr. Speaker. And that's why we need a professional body, Mr. Speaker, to protect the interests of farmers, Mr. Speaker, so that farmers can get proper advice, accurate advice from professionals, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have quite a number of youth who are actually in the field of agriculture, Mr. Speaker. With this particular bill, we are going to encourage many professional youth to join agriculture and to earn properly within agriculture as a sector, as a field, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, through the bill, we'll be able to enhance service delivery and productivity within agriculture, Mr. Speaker. And that is why it's important, it is timely to have a professional body, a legal framework to protect and advance agriculture, Mr. Speaker. Kenya, we have Vision 2030, Mr. Speaker. This particular bill aligns with that Vision 2030, Mr. Speaker, whereby agriculture as a sector is actually envisaged to be able to grow, to be able to have a country where food production can actually be at the same level with what we have in the first one, Mr. Speaker. And that cannot be attained unless we have a legal body that regulates agriculture as a sector, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, we need to strengthen accountability and oversight within agriculture, Mr. Speaker. And that's why this particular bill, which has been crafted by Honorable Dr. Mutunga, is important because it's going to promote that particular space where oversight within agriculture is enhanced and there's accountability when it comes to do with the matters to do with food production, Mr. Speaker. If you look at our country today, consumer protection, that aspect of protecting what we eat is not well done, Mr. Speaker. And the simple reason is we are lacking professionals. within agriculture as a field or as a sector. So having a legal body that regulates how the sector agriculture is being done comes timely, and we need it, like yesterday, Mr. Speaker. If you look at other professional bodies, if you talk of building, we have engineers, we have quantity surveyors, they have a professional body. Medics, medical doctors the same way. But when it comes to agriculture, that's not there. Agronomists, animal scientists, all those are not protected because we lack that legal or a legislation that protects them, Mr. Speaker. That's why we need to accelerate this and have the body established like yesterday, Mr. Speaker. We are in a technology world, Mr. Speaker, and innovation within agriculture is needed. And it can only be done when there is legal framework to protect and advance innovation within agriculture. If you look at advanced economics, I would take of Russia, for example, we have technology employed in agriculture by professionals. The same applies with Israel and other countries that have been able to advance on matters to do with agriculture, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, in a nutshell, Mr. Speaker, to summarize my only summary, I would say this is a very important bill, and I stand to support it so that at least we have a legal framework and we are able to protect our farmers, more so rural farmers who need professionals to advise them accurately and to give them proper evidence-based advice to advance and promote production more so on agriculture, in all spheres of agriculture. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Honourable members, before somebody else catches my eye, the chair's eye, I want to welcome students or pupils from Ilke Lugnetti Primary School, Kajiado East in Kajiado, who are in the public gallery. I also would want to, is there somebody from the Ma community here? I don't see somebody from Kajiado. They have loyal friends. Okay, the honorable learned friend, Karoli Omondi, you can give a very good word of encouragement to these peoples. Yes.
Thank you very much,
indeed.
Honorable Speaker. I take this opportunity to welcome the young pupils from the Ma community. I don't know why you identify them as the Ma community, but I believe Maasais are the most special Kenyans. I want these youngsters to live here knowing that. Why do I say so? If it was not for the Maasais, first we would never have had Kenya. The boundaries of Kenya are clearly defined according to the Maasai movement. And they are the most welcoming community and the most beautiful. And the most beautiful people in the Republic of Kenya, and the most friendly, and the least tribal. And Maasais, if Kenyans took the habits of Maasai people and their values, Kenya would be a great nation. I warmly welcome you. I wish you well. We will continue to support all the initiatives in Maasai land that make girls get good education, and we will not forget the boys. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
You forgot to add also they are the ones who stopped the slave traders, along with their pastoralist northerners. Kali wants to also put in a word because he's a neighbor. Please give the mic to Makali. Dr. Makali.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our young ones to Parliament. We want to tell them this is where laws of this country are enacted, and it's good they are here to see what happens. We wish them well in their studies, and I'm sure some of them, their long-term goal is to be seated where we are seated, to continue making laws for this country. So with their teachers, best wishes, and encourage the students to work hard, even though they come from Kajiado. They need to compete with the rest of this country because opportunities are there to be competed for. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, most welcome to Parliament.
Thank you. I am sure you've heard the peoples from Ilke Lunyeti Primary School. The sky is the limit. I'm sure that 20 years, 30 years down the line, many of you will be in this house. I now call upon the Honorable Kainan, and then followed by Dr. Makali Muri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the face of it, this bill is very good. It attempts to professionalize the services of great men and women in a very important sector of our economy, Mr. Speaker, which over the years, we have just decided to give lip service. We have said the backbone, know where we come from. Agriculture has two aspects, livestock and crop farming. The emphasis in Kenya has been on the crop sector. I hope and pray that Dr. Mutunga, if he's still here, that in his mind, he has the issue of the livestock subsector, which has been neglected. Mr. Speaker, secondly, it is good to have a professional body. And when I have reflected on this, it will bring so many benefits. But again, are we short of legislations? We have sector-based professional bodies. The veterinarians have their own professional bodies. It's an agriculture-based sector. The sugar professionals have their own. We have a pesticides board. We have a number of other boards. So I think one thing that we have to be very careful about is not to over-legislate so that we bring about the issue of jurisdictional conflict, Mr. Speaker, and other unrelated challenges that whenever we pass a bill, somebody will say, this did not meet this was meant to do this. Generally speaking, key professionals in this particular sector to bring about the issue of food security, which is a very important component, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other day I was in Ireland, and shockingly I went to one of the evening coffee place. Our coffee is being used to blend the Irish coffee. And Mr. Speaker, our professionals should have protested in the strongest terms possible at the World Trade Organization, or have had our own brand sold as a Kenya coffee brand. And this is why, Mr. Speaker, the professionals in this particular sector must be ready to support our Kenyan products so that we produce very, high quality products, Mr. Speaker. But outside there, our marketing mechanism has been conflicted, and therefore what is being sold outside there does not clearly project the Kenyan image, Mr. Speaker. And this is one thing that if these professionals really were to work very hard in line with their professions, then Kenya should be self-sufficient, actually, even in terms of food security. Mr. Speaker, the other thing that I know, if this bill is passed, the issue of promoting environmental sustainability is a challenge right now. It's something I'm told by January, the EU has decided to open the first, Mr. Speaker, climate-friendly, climate-supportive financial institution, Mr. Speaker, south of Sahara in Nairobi. That is a major achievement. But are we ready, again, to take the advantage of that particular facility? Mr. Speaker, the other bit is we must be innovative. The world has changed. And therefore, these professionals, once put under that umbrella organization, will be the drivers of innovation. And that's what this sector actually requires. Because the issue of land scarcity, the issue of environmental challenge, Mr. Speaker, all these issues can be circumvented, Mr. Speaker, if there is innovation. And therefore, these professionals, once hoping that this bill now will be subjected to critical public participation, that is the other bit that we expect from our agricultural professionals, Mr. Speaker. The other thing is job stability. You have decided to become an agricultural economist, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, in your mind, when you choose that profession, there must be job stability. That job stability can only come if you understand what you do, and there's a bit of regulation, Mr. Speaker, and continuity. And this is one of the things that I hope and pray that this bill attempts to achieve, Mr. Speaker. The other bit, Mr. Speaker, is the issue of career diversity. You can't be static. You have been trained as a veterinarian. you must also be familiar with the other aspects of your job. That can only come if we have a professional body that can prepare, can mentor, can bring about change. Not only what you have got through the raw academic platform, Mr. Speaker, but also what you have got through environmental influences, through other friendly means, Mr. Speaker, and this is one thing that has been lacking, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you must also be prepared to enjoy what you do. Once this professional body, Mr. Speaker, is legislated, you will have a career fulfillment. You will enjoy what you do. There is somebody else who will also tell you, these are the limits. These are things that you have not done, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because we all work for a community. Whatever we do must have an aspect of contribution to the community, to the outside community. You are an agricultural person, Mr. Speaker. You are a lawyer. Whatever you do must have also an input, an aspect to the society, some benefit to the society. And therefore, I believe once this is done, the Kenyan society in general will see the benefits of this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having said this, I've looked at Section 2, Part 2 of the bill. I see if we don't address this, it's going to be serious jurisdictional conflict. I want to urge the chairman of Agriculture Committee, Dr. Mutunga, who is the author of this bill, Mr. Speaker, to look at it critically so that there's no jurisdictional conflict with other already existing agricultural professional bodies, and they are. So that what we legislate here, because we are legislating for posterity, and I'm sure before you decide to put to a bend a bill, you must have conceived the ideas, you must have contextualized, you must have consulted a lawyer, you must have put it in a parliamentary platform, and finally, that must have given way to the publication of the bill. And all these must be in the mindset of the mover, the originator of the bill. Mr. Speaker, I want him to look at Part 2 of the bill, along with the other existing legal platforms, Mr. Speaker, for agricultural professional bodies, so that we avoid the issue of jurisdictional conflict, which has been rampant. This will also help us avoid the issue of duplication of roles. Mr. Speaker, duplication of roles meaning if there is already an entity that is clearly legislated, clearly provided for in managing profession of that particular organization, then creating a generalized umbrella organization might cause conflict and might also cause duplication of roles. This must also be attended to. So Speaker, the issue of wastages, you are aware. We are number one in passing bills. We are number one in legislation, Mr. Speaker. Our neighbors here, actually, you go there, you go to UK, you go to Tanzania here, there are very few legislations, but they've been very effective. Countries over the world, if you go to Japan today, and this is one example that I always repeat, Mr. Speaker. In 1999, as a young legislator, I had the privilege of going to Japan as a member of the Finance Committee. And we were trying to look at the public investment climate, Mr. Speaker. When we went there, we were told the first thing that we were given from their library is a document that they borrowed from Kenya in 1974. In the same year, in 2000, I had the privilege of going to Malaysia. We were also given a document on spatial planning from Kenya, and yet we were going there to benchmark. This era must come to an end. This era of unending, useless trips and legislations that don't add value to the Kenyan taxpayers must come to an end. We have legislated, we have so many legislations. What we are lacking is implementation. What we are lacking is implementation and commitment. Implementation and commitment. Once we are through with this, I can tell you, we can believe, you know the way we do business in our community. By word of mouth, there's no legislation. Purely trust. Although you're aware right now, that's also slowly getting diminished because of other environmental, other societal changes. This thing,
erosion.
Societal erosions. So the Kenyan culture, we can't legislate everything. There are countries that don't have any written rules. They have societal norms that guide the society. So right now, it's like we are legislating tomorrow. Just some few minutes ago, we were doing something on reproductive health. And I like the way my sister feeling that particular aspect. Some of the things that we even whisper when you want to talk about it.
She's loud. She talks loud about it.
Absolutely, and she's thorough. We are doing the same for agriculture. Tomorrow, my good sister here will bring something else. But holistically, what are we saying? We need to have the Kenyan norm. Whether it's the new norm, the old norm, or a convergence of both. And that is what will take us to the next level. Mr. Speaker, you can see the challenges, the environmental challenges. The world, all over, there is confusion. And Mr. Speaker, can I use the floor of the House to congratulate the newly elected mayor of New York for the dynamism, for the change. And I have followed that, Mr. Speaker, and I was awake last night from 3 until he was declared the winner. Simply because the world is changing. And that change is what we need to see here. And that's what will take us and let us join the League of Developed Nations. I support this.
Too bad he cannot run for the presidency of the U.S. because he was not born there. He's born in Uganda. Otherwise, he would have been a front runner even in that race. Yes, the Honorable Makali Muli.
You said I'm next, so I'm just waiting for the mic, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
And Honorable Speaker, I want to start by really thanking you for this opportunity. And before I get to the subject matter, you know, when I hear Honorable Kenan talk about our culture and how we apply it to today's world, I get amazed because Speaker, in quotes, there is this saying which says, "Mwacha mila ni mtumwa." We seem to have ignored that saying, and it was a really saying from wise men. So we've really come with modernization, and we seem to have ignored our culture. At one point, Honorable Speaker, I did work in your region, the whole of Northeastern. I used to do a lot of community work there. And I can tell you for sure, we would say we want 300,000 shillings, and we'll get it in 1 hour. Just because of trust, you know. Your people have really relied on trust. So when I hear the trust bit is getting eroded, I get worried, Honorable Speaker. Let's stick to our culture. Let me come back to this bill, Honorable Speaker.
You can't legislate values.
Yeah, how I wish we had a way of ensuring they remain. Honorable Speaker, if my memory serves me well, Honorable Mutunga was still spearheading the same bill. And this bill, the objective is just to have a legal framework which ensures that the professionals in the agricultural sector have a framework to do their work, where we are talking about what is required in terms of qualification, academic qualification, what is required in terms of job training, what it takes to do their work in a more structured way. And that's why I want to support this bill, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when I was a young man, and in the lower Form 1, Standard 8, there was this common saying that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. And then, Honorable Speaker, agriculture sector was the main contributor to our GDP. At the same time, Honorable Speaker, agriculture was the main employer in our economy. And if you look at the statistics, Honorable Speaker, because I remember very well, you realize that a lot of Kenyans had put their efforts in practicing agriculture and ensuring that agriculture is properly done. And I remember at one point, Honorable Speaker, those early days, I used to see what we call extension officers visiting us. My own mom, who we call Ndamulu, has always remained a very serious farmer. And then, Honorable Speaker, our farm used to be what we used to call a demonstration farm. So I would see the whole village being mobilized to come to our farm, and then you have extension officers coming, Honorable Speaker, to come and train farmers how farming should be done. Then the issue of technology was not very much applied, so it was more of manual and the training they were getting in the institutions. Then, Honorable Speaker, we had agricultural training institutions, our colleges, which were really very important. And you realize then, Honorable Speaker, a lot of the professionals actually were going to do agriculture. And if you went to the university to do agriculture, Honorable Speaker, you had to get a job immediately you leave university, and you are among the highly rated professionals then. What has happened over time, Honorable Speaker? Over time, because as a country we've not really put the kind of resources we want to put in agricultural sector, people have been kind of discouraged to do much in agriculture. And that's why we really want this, I want to support this bill, because what this bill is saying is, if you're agricultural professional, Honorable Speaker, now we are giving you a framework so that you can be trained properly, You can be remunerated properly once you leave college, and you can continuously be trained, Honorable Speaker, to ensure that you provide the services expected of you to Kenyans. So this bill is very important, Honorable Speaker, and that's why we think we really need to support it as a House. And this time my prayer is that it doesn't get, again, it expires before, with the 13th Parliament, before it is passed to be an act of Parliament. But there are a few things what we need to observe, Honorable Speaker. This being a professional body, and this has happened with many other professional bodies, the lawyers, the mendics, Honorable Speaker. What we are doing, the current now way of doing things is to ensure that once we give them the legal framework, Honorable Speaker, then we make sure that in terms of financing this body, then it is self-financing. That the professionals will be paying on a monthly basis or annual basis so that they are able to meet their budgets without really looking at the consolidated fund, Honorable Speaker. In that case, then, we'll ensure that it's a more stable body which can remain over the years without really relying on the exchequer. That is important, Honorable Speaker. The next important point, Honorable Speaker, is also to make sure that it's only professionals who belong to this body, because we have seen some bodies where there is confusion. You realize people who don't meet the minimum requirements to become professionals in that particular discipline, claiming to be professionals. And what is happening, Honorable Speaker, because of days, many things are happening. You know, there are these things called honorary degrees, which are coming all over the place. You have honorary degrees in religion, others in other areas. So I hope, Honorable Speaker, people who get these honorary degrees will not claim to be professionals in this area, because honorary degrees are an honorary degree. You are given maybe because of your experience in the area, but doesn't make you be a professional in that area. So these are some of the things you need to guard so that these professionals can be motivated. And Honorable Speaker, I really think, despite the many changes that have happened in this country, agriculture still remains important to our country. Honorable Speaker, as an economist, because I do analysis, I can tell you for sure, Honorable Speaker, any time agricultural sector does well in terms of growth, overall GDP grows well. It actually increases, which means still our GDP growth is so much dependent on agricultural sector that if we ignore this sector, Honorable Speaker, we remain challenged. And that's why, for me, I believe this idea of relying on rains, what we call rain-fed agriculture, Honorable Speaker, is not the strategic. We need to start thinking about irrigated agriculture. That's why I'm so discouraged when I see, when we are campaigning, we promise so many acres of irrigated land. When we are in the office, we do a quarter of what we have promised, Honorable Speaker. I have in mind what we call the Garana Kulalu of Tana River, Honorable Speaker. This is a serious irrigation project. How I wish we are able to implement it, because it will be able to provide food to this country. But you can see implementation has faced challenges, basically because we don't make provisions in terms of resources for that particular important project. So, Honorable Speaker, even as we support this, we need to kind of refocus our energies and our efforts and our resources to the agricultural sector, so that when this framework is there, and we have the right professionals, Honorable Speaker, to provide extension services, then, Honorable Speaker, we can now push our agriculture sector to where it should be. And I want to encourage the county governments, Honorable Speaker, to make sure that even as they recruit, because recruitment has become a critical issue in the county government and very controversial, that they prioritize recruitment of agricultural extension officers, Honorable Speaker, who are professionals, so that our grassroots, our farmers, have the necessary technical support to produce for this country, both food and for export and even for business. Honorable Speaker, we cannot claim to be an independent country. We cannot display pride as a country when we are not able to feed our people as a country. So if food security has to be...
Of course we are independent, Honorable Makali.
We can't claim. I'm saying when you claim you're independent, you can't feed yourself, we start questioning your independence, Honorable Ocheng. So we are saying respective governments which have been in this country have not managed to feed our people well. And that's why at times we have to start importing food. When our neighbors here, Tanzania, you remember they export a lot of food to us, Honorable Speaker. And this is what we are saying. We have the best agricultural land in the region. We have the best brains in terms of professional expertise, Honorable Speaker. Like where I come from, Honorable Speaker, the Ukambani region. We can produce maize in a year twice. The only thing we lack is water. But over time, Honorable Speaker, I can tell you with the authority because I'm a leader there, we've not been managed to be given enough water to irrigate our farms. Why? Because people want us to, so that we rely on leaf food always. And as a result of that, then they can come back and tell us, vote for us, we'll give you food. We have said enough is enough. As we move to the future, Honorable Speaker, through our county governments, we will ensure that we irrigate our land, we will feed this country as we feed ourselves. So with this many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I want to urge honorable colleagues that we support this bill so that we put agriculture sector where it should be in this economy. Thank you so much for the time, Honorable Speaker.
Let's hear from the other Makali. There are two Makalis, one from the east and one from the west. So this is now Makali from the west.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for that opportunity to allow me also, Makali from the west, to contribute to this bill. At the outset, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular bill. As has been pointed out by agriculture is the backbone of our economy. It contributes almost 20% of our gross domestic product. 40% of Kenyans are actually employed in the agriculture sector. But as has been pointed out by the mover, Honorable Speaker, this is an area which has lacked a legal framework. Many of our universities, colleges, and tertiary institutions are producing many graduates in this particular sector. But we do not have a proper legal framework that is supposed to govern this particular sector. The engineers have a professional body, the lawyers have a professional body, the doctors have a professional body. We need to be able to regulate this particular sector so that we save our farmers and our citizens from quacks. Honorable Speaker, there are benefits of creating this particular organization. One, Honorable Speaker, is that we will protect our farmers from unqualified persons. Right now, as we speak, Honorable Speaker, anybody in the village can advise up our farmers. Anybody can go to an agrovet and try to buy a drug there without the benefit of getting the expert advice. So the first benefit we'll get by enacting this particular law will be to protect our farmers from unqualified advisors. Two, we are also going to create jobs and career paths for our graduates. Having a disciplinary body that will be able to take cases of malfeasance and misfeasance, will be able to create accountability in this particular area. Because I believe a regulated profession is a responsible profession. Equally, we are not just trying to invent the wheel, Honorable Speaker. International best practices. In looking up at this particular bill, I have had to look at what is happening in South Africa, what is happening in Ghana, what is happening in India. All these particular jurisdictions have agricultural professional bodies that actually guide and advise the respective citizens of those particular countries. But on the flip side, after having looked up at this act, at this bill, there are three critical issues we need to look into, Honorable Speaker. One is our Vision 2030 and our youth. It's going to create a licensing mechanism. Most of our youth, Honorable Speaker, when they leave college, they have no jobs. They don't have a source of income. It's going to create a licensing mechanism. How I wish that when we come to look at the licensing mechanism, we do not put their fees that is beyond their reach. Because I look at some of our colleagues, even in the legal profession, some of them fail to get license for whole practicing here. They don't get a license because of the fees. when we look into the issue of licensing, I think we have to ensure that it's affordable to our youth who are coming up from our universities and colleges. Equally, it seeks to create a council. When you look at Schedule 4 of the Constitution, agriculture is basically a devolved function. This bill in this raw form sought to create a national board. We need to be very, very careful because agriculture is a devolved function, and what the national government only seeks to do is to deal with matters of policy. So as we create that national council, we must ensure that the rubber touches the tarmac, that's in the counties, they are effectively represented up on this particular council. Then finally, Honorable Speaker, the bill is proposing that within a period of 6 months after enactment, all professionals need to be licensed. We need to be very, very careful there because 6 months, in my view, is licensed to be able to practice, to become an agriculture professional. What I will tend to think, Honorable Speaker, is that we need to have a structured approach, how we can be able to, for people to transit once the act becomes law. But we must be very careful that as we pass this bill, we do not now license professionals, then that cost is passed on to the farmer or the people to be advised. Because I know once we license professionals, that cost might end up being passed up to the farmers who are being advised. So we must really be very, very careful there about the costs of compliance in this. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular bill and state that the 13th Parliament should be able to go on record as having passed this bill, taking into account that it failed to go through in the last Parliament. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Thank you. Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the outset, I support this bill, but with reservations, Mr. Speaker, because I see the membership of this bill, the Agricultural Professionals Registration and Licensing Bill, the board, the membership is from the Kenya Society of Agricultural Professionals. So I wonder whether there will be any leeway between the two boards, because if there is the Kenya Society of Agricultural Professionals, and then we have again this bill,
Sorry,
how will it?
Sorry, the Honorable Member. Yeah, the Honorable Mutunga, I think you need to make that clarification on what he's asking on, even for members contributing later. The Society of Professionals, is it a legal institution? Or is it a vugu-vugu? What is it? Just clarify that so that then members don't have to keep,
The Agricultural Professionals Society of Kenya and the Animal Production Professional Society of Kenya are registered under the Societies Act as a professional, as a membership body of professionals. They have no regulatory role. They have no function that ensures accountability to anyone. They do not do anything for the sector. They are just an association of like-minded and professional linked people. This other one comes in to regulate the function of the sector, to regulate the issues within the sector, to regulate the professionalism itself.
So this is Chama, right?
Yeah, on Chama.
Correct.
Yeah, the other one is Chama.
Okay.
In fact, with that explanation, I think the chair has even muddied it more, because if they are not recognized anywhere and they are part of the board, which is going to be board for the Agriculture Professionals Registration Board, and the chairperson of the Kenya Society of Agricultural Professionals will be one of them, and there will be other 5 members who are nominated by that. I think in the next, in the committee stage, maybe the chair will consider those to bring it to speed, because if you are already suggesting that they should be members of this board, and you have, in other sense, you have said they are just a body which is nowhere. So what happens to that, Mr. Speaker? I do not want to debate on that. I want to debate on this one, this Agriculture Professionals Registration and Licensing Bill, where I agree that a board should be set up. We should professionalize agriculture. In fact, from the definition of agricultural speciality, I see the first member hopefully will be the degree, the PhD he has. He would be one of the members of this board, and he would be licensed like the others. Mr. Speaker, we need to really professionalize agriculture, because what has happened is countries much smaller than Kenya, or which are not endowed with the good soils and water and everything, they produce more in agriculture than us in Kenya, because we do not have the professionals managing our agriculture. Mr. Speaker, if you go to a country like Egypt, which basically is a dry area, and they still produce a lot. If you go to some of the European countries, they produce a lot of agricultural products, 10 times what we do, and they may be even 10 times smaller than Kenya. And we need to now come up, we need to know where our agriculture went wrong. We used to be a powerhouse, but now it's like as if we have let it go. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope with this professional body, the board being in place, we will have people who can even tell us which fertilizer to be used and when to do the actual planting, and to use the right fertilizer, the acidity, and all the others. So with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support, but with reservations, as I said earlier. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Barto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me the opportunity to make a contribution on this bill on the agricultural professionals registration and licensing. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important bill, and it is not an exception because we also have body of engineers, we have body of lawyers. So for the agricultural professionals, it is going to be a good idea as long as a very good, a lot of research is done so that we don't have duplications and the roles are made very clear so that it's easy to follow. The structuring is also important in the sense that Kenya is an agricultural country. It has been said that it also employs Kenyans, almost 40%, which is a very important sector. Personally, I come from Uasin Gishu, the sub-county of Moiben, where 90% of our land is basically for agriculture. So I'm very interested in this particular bill. Mr. Speaker, I liked the definition by the mover that defines who is supposed to be a professional in this field. In this field, Mr. Speaker, I like the fact that for you to be an agricultural professional, you must have done a degree in agriculture, or you have a certificate in an agricultural-related field. It is very important to make that very clear, so that it allays the fears from one of the members who has just spoken to say that we will have people who get honorary degrees and then they want to register as professionals in agriculture. I think if that is made very clear, it will avoid such pitfalls, and the people who will be in this category will be people who are qualified, people who have studied agriculture, and people who have the right experience and will be and and the body of professionals will be actually professionals. Mr. Speaker, why it is important is that we have had so many quacks, especially in this field of agriculture. Many a times, even in they are developing curricula, and they want to reach out to professionals. It's normally very difficult to know who is who. So it's important to make it very clear, to have very clear, to have the, borders on who is an expert and who is not an expert, so that it informs the curricula in a very systematic way, which is very important. As I said, we have had so many quacks, like in Moiben constituency, for instance, we grow maize, we grow beans, we do livestock, we do horticulture, but we have so many experts masquerading as agricultural professionals, to an extent that even productivity becomes a challenge. For instance, this is the season where farmers are harvesting maize, but within the same environment, when all factors are constant, you will find that the products are different, the yields are different. This is because of a product of various quacks of expertise advising farmers. Everybody is an expert. They stock chemicals from all over the world. They import from anybody can get a license and masquerade as an expert, and they misguide farmers. They have different chemicals for different seasons, for animal feeds for different animals, for different products, to an effect that even productivity is affected. Maize, the quality, the quantity becomes a problem. For milk, you will find that animals, because of the different feeds they are given, some produce good, some are good producers, some are not. Even diseases, they have different drugs for treating various diseases. Some animals even get treated and they die the same day. So this bill is, to me, very important, especially where I come from, where my people are farmers. They will benefit from the expertise if the agricultural sector is structured. We also need, once this bill is passed and we have a good structure on this professionalism, we will expect to have experts in the field who visit and advise farmers, in as much as it's a devolved function, so that they know what is expected of them at all times, so that they are advised on the quality of seeds, quality of food, quality of pesticides, and so on, so that we can actually improve the production, and even employment will go up. Now that we are at 40%, why not? Why can't we pull it even to 50% now that we have a very serious issue of unemployment in Kenya? Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I support the bill. However, we open to the community, because sometimes when professionals have a body of experts, they tend to be expensive and they charge fee. For instance, sometimes for students to go for internship, they have to pay for they have to make some payments, and sometimes exorbitant payments. For programs to be approved in universities, they normally put some conditions. So to an extent that now, in as much as it is something which is going to be good, it becomes a problem. We have a case in point, is the engineering curriculum in some universities in Kenya, we had issues where students were not able to graduate even after completing their studies 5 years down the line because the engineering body of Kenya felt that they did not meet some requirements, some mandatory requirements, yet the Commission of University Education had approved the curriculum. So it became a court battle which took some time. I am not sure even traumatizing for those particular students because they had completed the curriculum, they needed to graduate and move on, but there was this engineering body of Kenya which was becoming a problem. So we hope that when this bill is passed and we have a structure, we will not have the same burden like the other one. It should be a plus for the agricultural sector instead of becoming a burden. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Those are my sentiments. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Mandela West.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support this bill, this very important bill.
The Honorable Kiara, just take your seat. You'll get a chance to speak on this. Just get your seat here.
Yeah, I stand to support this bill. This is a very important bill. And unfortunately, this bill, even last Parliament, the 3rd Parliament, when I was also a member of the Agricultural Committee, was still there. And we are still debating it. And I hope and pray that this time round, we shall be the Parliament that will make sure this bill goes through and is enacted, because it's very, very important. Agriculture is the backbone of our economy. Agriculture is the one which employs 40% of our employment opportunities in this country. Agriculture, the produce we get from agriculture has been frontline in terms of export, and also agriculture means food security. When you talk of a nation's security, we talk of the security which is the military and the external important securities. And even more important is the food security, because even the military, when they're hungry, they will not be able to protect this issue. And food security is the most important thing that a country like ours can have. We are very fortunate in that we have all that appertains to be excellent producers of food in terms of agriculture. And when I talk of agriculture, I mean the crop agriculture, the livestock agriculture, the fisheries agriculture, and even the bees, which give us the honey. All that encompasses agriculture. This is where we need serious professionals so as to make sure that the right thing is done in order to produce the country, in order to produce food for the country and for export. Of late, it is very unfortunate that there are a lot of quacks in the country. Honorable Speaker, I used to be agricultural officer, a frontline extension officer, and then I went up the ladder, up to an assistant director. And those days, although such laws were not there, things were systematic, agricultural professionals were serious professionals, and productivity was higher than today when the technology has improved, when the number of professionals have increased. Actually, it's doubled and doubled so many times, but unfortunately, our agricultural sector productivity has gone down over the years. This may be attributed, one of the issues that may be attributed to this productivity going down is where there is no regulatory body, and therefore, any Tom, Dick, and Harry can call himself an agricultural expert and try to advise farmers
particularly farmers in the very rural areas who are not exposed to technology, who do not have even TV, to see the gold, what they call the golden advice which the TVs are giving now to the farmers. If I give a very good example of a very recent one, a camel farmer whom I used to treat his animals long ago when I was in a field, called me and he told me, you know, his camels are suffering, these are the signs that he's seeing. I don't know, I want you to advise me. So I told him, first of all, take blood samples, let whatever disease that he thinks be verified in the nearest lab. And he did it, and he sent me the report, and animals were suffering from trichomoniasis, particularly Trypanosoma evensi, which is common in the camel. So I prescribed a drug for him called Triquin and told him that, do you have a veterinarian around you? He says yes. Then he said, okay, buy these drugs, call the veterinarian, let him administer the drug by using subcutaneous, that is under the skin. He said, well and good. He bought a lot of the drugs, picked somebody who said he was an animal health assistant from Haiti, I don't know, and who has been practicing around there. Instead of administering the drug subcutaneously, the guy went and started the intravenous. He administered the drug intravenous. In 2 hours' time, 60 camels were dead. That is a very recent thing. That is an indication showing that unless we have...
What is the difference between what do you call sub?
Pardon?
What is the difference between the two, intravenous and sub what?
One is you administer that drug under the skin, that is subcutaneous, and then it goes slowly into the animal system. That is the way that drug was made. But putting it intravenous, that is putting through the vein, direct to the blood, and then hits the heart immediately when the drug is very concentrated and the body has not worked on it. And therefore, the animals died. And therefore, this is because there is no law, such a law, to regulate, to license those people who are professionals. So the quacks take advantage of lack of such a law. So this law is not only very timely, actually it is very late, and we have to fast track it and make sure we protect our country from quacks and from people who are dangerous. Sometimes, in the olden days, when extension service was in the hand of the central government and it was effective, we used to have something called T&V, training and visit. You bring all the farmers together in that locality or maybe location in a place, train them on whatever crop or livestock that is currently in that vicinity or area, or how to protect them and how to get maximum yield out of them. And then for 2 weeks, you release them to go back to their farms, and then the extension service persons go around visiting each and every of these farmers. And they have books, which is like prescription. They go around, they see what is happening. They advise the farmers. They write those advice, what to do until the next training, which is 2 weeks to come. They give them a copy of that document or that prescription, and then come next training. After 2 weeks, the farmer will tell you, I've done ABCD, and this is the improvement, and that is the way our yield used to go. And agricultural professionals, though there was no law, there was discipline, and there was no, shortcuts for getting quick money. People used to be proud of doing their job well, but with the current number of professionals that we are producing from so many universities and colleges, and there being lack of employment, serious unemployment, this is where now everybody does whatever he wants just in order to get a living that particular day, regardless of what it used to be. During our time, immediately you leave the college, before you go out of the gate, you had an appointment letter to go and report to a certain place and do your work. So there was job security. I remember Dr. Mutunga, when he first came to, finished his college, he reported where I was already working in Isiolo, and I inducted him. And things were straightforward. So the only way now to make sure these problems are over is to enact this law, this bill into law, and I'm sure the country will benefit out of it. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're going to get a chance. I can actually see you on the board. Just that I've held Honorable Kiara for quite a while because you spoke earlier, so I've held her back for quite a while.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in championing for this bill, Agriculture Professional Registration and Licensing Bill, National Assembly Bill number 19 of 2024. Honorable Speaker, I decry where we are as a country, drawing back to the days where agriculture, livestock used to be highly respected and used to be followed on a daily basis because it was clearly known that food security is the core of our country. Honorable Speaker, in the 1970s and 80s, we used to know doctors who are called veterinary doctors. They were very professional, and they would walk in the villages wanting to know what is happening in the livestock sector. We used to have extension agriculture officers who used to wear uniforms, and they would be identified even from a distance. And they would go to the farms, inspect the farms, and want to know what is happening in the coffee sector, in the tea sector, and in every other sector. Those are the days that I recall and thought that time professionalism was being upheld in our agriculture sector. However, Honorable Speaker, today, we know too well almost 40 to 51% of our GDP depend on agriculture, 24%, of course, directly, and 27% indirectly. And Honorable Speaker, our country, Kenya, is a food security hub. It is a country where a majority of the citizens deprive their lives and livelihoods in agriculture. It is a country where we are seeing even our young generation wanting to go in that sector because it is the only area left for them to go and make money. But Honorable Speaker, we want this time round to ensure that as much as agriculture is a devolved function under Schedule 4 of our Constitution, the obligation of the national government is to provide policy. And this is why this particular bill is coming in handy to provide a legal framework to ensure that this sector is completely compliant and professionalized. Honorable Speaker, it is important to know that both crops and livestock production will greatly depend on the work that will be done by these professionals. We just go to agriculture blindly. Agriculture, we don't go to analyze, we don't take time to analyze the type of soil that we are planting our crops on, the crops that we are planting, they must be also certified seeds. We must even go ahead and test the fertilizers that we are using for different types of soils. We must also use professionals to advise us handy when to plant and what to plant. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because sometimes we have areas where we plant like sorts of crops. We have coffee, we have tea, we have mira, we have all sorts of crops. We have cotton in some areas, and it's equally important that we have professionals who advise farmers on the type of seedlings to use. Honorable Speaker, I want to say we are very lucky because His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, in his 6 out of the 9 value chains in his the bottom-up economic agenda of agriculture, he has picked out tea, we have leather, we have cotton, we have milk, and we have rice. And this is why we commend His Excellency, because we can see areas where we want to specifically plant rice, and in the due future, instead of exporting rice, we will be getting our own rice, planting our own rice, using it, and also importing that rice. Honorable Speaker, we want to ensure that in this framework that we are talking about, the licensing mechanism is made easy, accessible, and affordable to those young people so that we don't throw them out of the agriculture sector. Honorable Speaker, I strongly support this bill, and I want to say it is the high time that this bill is fast-tracked so that we have it at the earliest opportunity. And I want to challenge Honorable Motunga that once this bill is passed, let us go and implement it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Seme, you can speak on this, right?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me opportunity. Mr. Speaker, this is an extremely important bill. Agriculture is actually the mainstay of human survival. It is actually much more important than even the medications and the health issues that we go. Food is the key issue. And in this country, we all know that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. I personally believe, Mr. Speaker, that it is agro-industry that will actually push us into industrialization and actually address the unemployment issues we have in the country. And all this, Mr. Speaker, is basically based on science. Agriculture is highly scientific. There are many professionals in the area. You have agronomists, you have soil scientists, you have agricultural economists, you have all sorts of professionals are there. And therefore, it is important that this area is actually regulated. And I therefore support this bill, Mr. Speaker, because it is for the first time actually trying to bring sense into the area of agriculture. As many members have said, before, people were used to extension workers in agriculture, and it made a big difference in the productivity in this country. Now you don't see that. And as our honorable member said, those who are doing it their own, they are doing it with regulation. They are doing more harm. People don't know what fertilizers to use at what time. People don't know what medicines to use. And as the member was trying to explain, giving drugs the way it was given, somebody lost 60 camels. Basically because the person who was doing it, they probably have just seen somebody doing it and they didn't know what that person was doing. They perhaps saw somebody giving a drug directly into the blood and they thought that all these things should be given into the blood. And you see, that was a huge loss. And therefore, I support this bill. I particularly appreciate the fact that it is creating a board in clause 3. And this board, I think, will be important in training, in certification, in registration, in practice, in licensing and regulation. I think those are areas that that board must look at. But when I looked at it, I don't see much emphasis being put in training in the functions of that board. That is something we should really look at. And again, it brings us to the issue of self-regulations. As we have mentioned, many bodies are actually self-regulated, and therefore we have created a lot of sagas, which this one is going to create. And there is an issue in the country that we are trying to limit the number of sagas and also how they are funded. And in many cases of self-regulation, this is actually funded through funds raised by the activities of these people. And members have indicated, if you're not careful about that, that will increase the cost of production. I personally think that we should start thinking of supporting these sagas, because the regulation they are doing is not just supporting the profession as such, but actually supporting the economy. That man who lost 60 camels, really, as much as he will blame this person who did it, it just says in the industry there is no government support to help people like that. So I think in terms of funding, we should actually start thinking of funding them through tax or supporting them through tax. I also looked at the membership board, and you had asked this organization. That is a common practice, that people take welfare organizations or professionals, and from there they draw membership into regulatory bodies. I think it's a good thing if the membership of the welfare organizations are broad-based. But I think there's need, and we can look at it, how we can bring various sectors of agriculture is broad. You are talking of personnel from extension workers to professors in universities, to high-level research in research institutions. So this must also be brought in. So in clause 34, I think we'll have to look at how funding is done. And then it creates the office of the registrar. I think this is in clause 12. Again, this is extremely important because it is actually on the registrar, on this office of the registrar, that most of the functions will revolve. Even if you have a good board, if you don't have a registrar's office that is functional, it will not work. With that, Mr. Speaker, I support this bill and will probably make some recommendations for amendments when we come to the committee of the whole House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Suba North, Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to support the bill and thank Honorable Mutunga for bringing the bill. Mr. Speaker, with the high unemployment rate, agriculture is a very serious option that we need to consider as a country. I know that agriculture is actually a mainstay of the country, but we have not taken it as seriously as we ought to. The way the world is moving, Mr. Speaker, every country must identify their niche, and every country must capitalize on their niche. In Kenya, agriculture and tourism is our niche, and we should therefore not try and be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And when I talk agriculture here, I also mean fisheries as well. Mr. Speaker, we have many Kenyans. I've met a lot of Kenyans out of the country who have left for greener pastures, and the greener pastures they have gone to do actually then is agriculture. And Mr. Speaker, we export a lot of intellect, which we can actually use within the country. And that's why this bill is very, very important, and we must, as a country, have a paradigm shift. Because many of us have known that if you are educated, then you must be a lawyer, you must be a doctor, and we have always assumed that anybody doing agriculture is somebody who has not gone to school. And Mr. Speaker, even when people then get degrees in agriculture,
it becomes very difficult knowing how to incorporate them. I have a nephew who has a degree in agriculture, but then now how to integrate this person becomes a challenge because we are not used to agriculture, as I've indicated, the kind of degrees that we are used to. And that's why it's important that we look at or professionalize the sector and attract young people. Mr. Speaker, when I like being very analytical, and one of the things that I observed during, for instance, the Gen Z uprising, and I know that a lot of us politicians wanted to take advantage and say that we are the ones who have mobilized them. But I observed when I went to a university on Thika Road that there are almost 8 or 9 universities around there, and if you add other colleges, there are actually more than 10. So the university students self-mobilize. Nobody needs to mobilize them. But one of the things that amazed me is when you saw the numbers of young people who are walking into town. And some of them are either university students, and some of them have not managed to go to universities. Yet, we have to ensure that these young people have some meaningful employment, or we are going to have a crisis. Mr. Speaker, it's not even that we are going to have a crisis. We already have a crisis. When I came into this parliament, we always talk about a youth budget is going to be problematic. And we must think as a country of innovative ways of keeping our young people engaged and also enabling that they get a source of sustenance. And not the only way, but really one of the critical areas would be in agriculture and making it attractive. And one of the ways of making agriculture attractive is to professionalize it. So that even me, maybe if I'm still very active after I do my PhD, I might just decide to do a degree in agriculture, even though I might fail because I was not very good in that area. But that is something that we need to consider. One of the things that I would want to then, of course, challenge Honorable Mutunga and the others is how do we incorporate traditional knowledge within this sector? Because the problem with us Kenyans is also that when we start professionalizing things, we start also undermining our own traditional systems. And you find that we have people who have beneficial knowledge of some of our crops or plants that we should not also disregard. And these are people who also have no degrees. And I'm glad that some of the members, when they were speaking to this bill, alluded to the fact that we will need to find a way in which we'll consider these people in the same manner that we consider people with honorary degrees. They may not be the experts, but they have something that will bring in through expertise. For instance, I was sharing with one of my classes yesterday that when you're talking about the lake, there was a time that when we were traveling from Fangano Island to Rusinga Island, and the weather was fine and bright, and so we decided to move by boat. And then one old man told us, do not try. And we said, why? And then they said, because we can feel it, we know it, it's going to change. But there was absolutely no indication why it's going to change. And we went in, and I don't think I've ever had the greatest, a nightmare of that sense, ever since, in the lake. We were in the lake for 6 hours, in a place that we ordinarily take 45 minutes. We were there for 6 hours. It was raining. The waves were crazy. One of the ladies who was there, who was from Microsoft, the UK, said she will never come to Africa, leave alone coming back to Mfangano Island. She said she will never come back to Africa because of the experience she went through. But we were warned, and we didn't listen. And who warned us is a person who has that knowledge. And so we cannot also disregard the people who have those beneficial knowledge of plants or crops and how they do well. And also our indigenous crops and plants, we should not disregard them, especially as we are incorporating technology. And even in incorporating technology, we have some indigenous plants that do much better within our setup and are hardier than some of the plants that we now have been technologically engineered. I just want to say that I'm happy that the bill broadens the scope of recognized fields and includes issues such as agricultural policy and law, And you know, once we put that, it means that even in terms of the law, we'll be very clear and focused on, for instance, issues like intellectual property rights. If, for instance, we come up with, innovative plants or crops that are germane to Kenya, then we can actually patent them. And that's why I like the component of agricultural policy and law, the issue of biotechnology, agricultural engineering, seed technology, plant breeding, botany, amongst others. I think it's a really good idea, and I do support. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sitene, you didn't indicate you wanted to speak. You didn't tell anybody you don't have a card. So we are here all wondering. This is a chance for you to make a contribution.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to be able to add my voice to this bill. I want to outrightly support this bill to professionalize the sector, the agriculture sector. Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy of this country. This is actually what makes the nation food secure. It is what puts food on the table. It is what grows the economy of this country. And therefore, professionalizing this sector will go a long way in helping our farmers, in helping grow the economy of this country, in helping regulate the industry or the sector. And once we regulate the sector, Honorable Speaker, then we are able to have people providing services to the agriculture sector or to the farmers who are qualified, who can actually be sued if there is any misconduct. And therefore, it also means that our farmers will be protected from unscrupulous people masquerading as agricultural professionals. Our farmers have suffered in terms of misuse of agrochemicals because they have no people, they do not have identification of who are the correct professionals to advise them on what to do and which chemicals to use. So, Honorable Speaker, I really want to support this sector. I support that they should be professionals so that our farmers can benefit from their services. And I want to say that we have very few extension officers at the moment, and yet we have a big number, a glut of professionals who have been churned out of the institutions. And I want to request the ministry to employ those services so that our farmers can benefit from it and we can be able to do agribusiness and grow our economy. Honorable Speaker, I would also want to say that I wish they put it in the bill, Chair, because Chair is here, that once somebody graduates, he should automatically be registered as an agricultural professional so that we avoid any quacks coming into the sector to register themselves as agricultural professionals, whereas they have not undergone any training. I would want to leave time because of the Chair